Let's do a price update on Bitcoin. We're on the weekly time frame, which is where we are going to start off today, especially because we just had a weekly candle close. Let's have a really quick look. I'm going to turn on our indicators really briefly. Why? Because we actually closed the weekly candle in a fairly interesting point. This gray line is an exponential moving average of 50 time frames or 50 time periods. I don't know what you call it, but it's that. We're currently just above it, okay, but the week has just started. It's Monday today, so this one is not really that relevant, at least for now. What is relevant is that we closed the candle right there. We also hit, I don't know if you can see, this red rectangle. That is a weekly fair value gap. Now this is going to link into the next point that I want to make. Usually, what's the most important point of a fair value gap, of an order block, of an inverted fair value gap, all of these different things? It's usually going to be the halfway line, which is why in all of our indicators, we've mapped out the halfway point for fair value gaps, inverted fair value gaps, order blocks, whatever it is, you name it, there's going to be a halfway line. Let me zoom in and let me tell you why this is specifically important. We've got this liquidity point right there. You can see it says liquidity. That's common sense because we've got this high, which hasn't been tested yet. Ideally, what would have been amazing for you to go short at the high would have been the push up and then a second one just above it and then closing the candle there to then go short. We weren't lucky enough to get that. We got one push up and then on the second one, we failed to go higher and then that's it. We started pushing down. Having said that, a fairly important price point, which I'm going to be paying really close attention to, is to see if we get some sort of a liquidity sweep on this area, which is essentially 82,788. Just on top of that, actually, I'm just looking at it now, we've got something fairly interesting, a virgin daily fair value gap and a daily breakout order block. Why am I calling it a virgin? Because it hasn't been touched yet. We had a fair value gap, which was created right there, and it wasn't tested this time, and it hasn't been tested since it was created. A fair value gap, an order block, any of these things, the first test, the first piece of contact is going to be the most useful one, the strongest one, the most reliable one. When a support, when a resistance, when a fair value gap has been hit 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, be more and more careful, because this hasn't been hit yet. I wouldn't be mad if we saw the price go above this recent high, get the very first contact on this area, and then potentially get an aggressive push down. Let's make our way down the time frames. On the 4-hourly time frames, what can we see? First off, I would just really like to point out this divergence right there did not work out. This one gave us the absolute bottom of Bitcoin. This one gave us the absolute bottom of Bitcoin. And this one gave us the very local top. Since then, we've been seeing some fairly nice moves. Just thought I would point that out. 4-hourly time frame, we're hitting a 4-hourly fair value gap. But I'm personally looking more on the 1-hourly time frame. This is the most important one. Why? We've got a fairly defined structure. This is the high. This one is, well, these were the lows, which were on this fair value gap. We then had a push down to grab some liquidity. So now this is our most recent low, our most relevant low. That's the high, that's the low. We've got a sideways range. That's it. You can't go short or long in the halfway point. I think that's very risky to do. I think that's actually very silly to do. You're in a sideways range. Fibonacci is not going to really work. Exponential moving averages are not going to really work. Fair value gaps in a sideways range are not really going to work. What is going to work? Your RSI is going to work very nicely. All the blocks are going to work fairly nicely. Liquidity sweeps like the one that we have just gotten now confirmed on the 1-hourly time frame, that is going to be very useful for you. When you're at the top of the range, you ideally want to look for shorts. When you're at the bottom of the range, you want to ideally look for longs. In my point of view, okay, we haven't changed structure, we haven't lost anything. Any contact down to this 1 hourly fair value gap is going to be fairly interesting point to look for a long and long and long. Until we don't lose this low, then I don't think we've got any reason to not look for a long. In fact, we had this contact, we printed this little yellow dot, which doesn't print very, very often. We were nearly oversold. We had a little bit of money flow. We were on the exponential moving average. We were just grabbing this short-term liquidity. We then got a fairly nice push up. That's basically it. There's not much more secret to it. Let's zoom out though, and let's have a really quick look at volume, because I think volume is a really important thing, which not enough people have a look at. We're going to trace a volume profile of this whole sideways range, and we're going to see a fairly interesting area, which is going to be this one, 73,636. Why is this going to be important? Because we're going to have this, the exponential moving average on the 4 hourly time frame, and of course you may just see this blue line. What is this blue line? It's the value area high. If you know anything about volume profiles, you might know about the value area high. This would potentially be some sort of trade I would be interested in taking. Maybe a 1.7% stop loss, and then a take profit. We will see where we want to take it. We've got also a 4 hourly breaker order block, and in fact, if we keep on getting this push up and we test this order block, we would actually be making higher highs on the price action, lower highs on the RSI. At least that's what I would be hoping for, to see and catch a 4 hourly bearish divergence. That's one thing I'm paying fairly close attention to. Until this happens, because this is longer term, we need to wait. We are now cancelling out that liquidity sweep we just had. We're about to cancel it out. But until then, this is the most important low. This is the most recent low. This is the one that we need to be looking at. And that's basically it. If this gets lost, this is going to be the next area. We've actually, just as I'm seeing now, we've got a 1 hourly fair value gap right there as well. This is going to be a fairly good area. 73,500. Really good area to look for a long. That's going to be our first support point. Zooming out even more, you might say, okay, what's the next place for us to go long? Well, you might also say, why are you not looking for any shorts at all? Well, I can't really look for shorts when we're in such a big uptrend. I think that's just trying to catch a falling knife. The only way I would be looking for a short, like I just told you, if we make a confirmed 4 hourly bearish divergence, we hit this order block, we do a confirmed liquidity sweep, we do one of these things, but I'm not just going to tell you, do you know what, here, that's a good place to go short. No, I'm going to give you a good area to go long, and I'm now going to proceed and give you the next area that could be potentially good to go long. Let's go on the 8 hourly time frame, and we're going to trace a Fibonacci retracement from the very low all the way to the very high. 0.618 level is landing somewhere within our point of control. So this is going to be our next place. If we lose this area, which is going to be the value area high, in theory, following pure volume profile theory, we should then be heading to the value area low. I'm not aiming that low just yet. What I do know is that this area is going to be a big resistance for us, especially being the 0.5 level, but then this one is going to be an even bigger place. 0.618, 0.65, and the point of control. Okay, so that's basically it. Basically, on any crypto that you go in now, you're gonna basically have this structure. We can have a really quick look at Ethereum as well. It's just the exact same thing. You've got a high right there. You've got a low right there. You look for the liquidity sweep, and there's not much more secret to it. Okay, a bit more of a bigger price target for Ethereum. I've just traced a fixed range volume profile of this whole sideways range. We can see that the value area high, this blue line, is going to be coming in just below these lows. So again, very similar thing. I would really like to see the price of Ethereum coming down to this area, approximately 2,330. That would be a place I would be interested in looking for a long. We have got 4 hourly inverted fair value gaps. We have got the 4 hourly exponential moving average coming along very closely. We've got a 4 hourly breakout order block. You know, that's just going to be a fairly relevant point. That's it. Okay, there's not much more secret to it. Again, very same thing. If we get another push up above this high, we confirm a 4 hourly bearish divergence on Bitcoin. I might also be tempted to trade it on Ethereum. Having said that, I'm going to leave the video here. There's not much more for me to waffle on. Thank you very much for watching. If you would like access to these indicators, please do remember you can get them for free using the link in the descriptions box by joining our free Telegram. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow for another daily market reading, and bye bye.